Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney. Today, we're talking about the fall of the Cuomos, the brothers Cuomo. I mean, I'm sure you know the story by now. One brother Cuomo is the governor of New York State. He got there via nepotism. His daddy was also the governor of New York State. Um, Kind of a corrupt guy. Has bankrupt New York State. New York State's not doing well at all. Did some press conferences that were fairly impressive during the pandemic, like so great that people were stopping in airports being like, I love that Mr. Cuomo. He's so strong. He's gonna run for president, right? Like it's like, what are you talking about? The state's bankrupt. Like what who are you? And why do you think this man is good? All of that was ongoing in the middle of him serially sexually harassing a variety of women around him. I think he has 11 accusers now, and still people were doing hit pieces on them like they're all liars. All 11 of these women are just liars. This is a great man. He's going to be president. We don't know what you're talking about. All 11 of you women just liars, right? And it's like I I thought we believe victims. What are we doing here? Is it because he's part of your political party that it's okay for him to sexually harass women? Um, and then, of course, there's his brother on CNN who once likened being called Fredo. He said it was a racial slur as serious as being called the N word, if I recall correctly. That is, of course, me paraphrasing. Those are not his exact words, but that is exactly how I took his meaning, which, of course, is an insane thing to say. Listen, the Italians were oppressed in the United States for some time, right? The Italians were not oppressed anywhere near what was done to the African American community, and the word Fredo didn't exist more than 30 years ago as a slur, right? That comes from a movie that I think debuted in the 70s, right? So, given the fact that the phrase arose during a time when at best Italians were treated marginally bad, and that the N word arose during a time in which the basic human rights of the African American community were completely stripped from them, and they were treated as three-fifths of a human being. No, no, I don't think those two things are comparable. I don't even think they're close. I think you're a bad person if you think they're close. I think you're like the worst person if you think they're close. So yeah, the brothers Cuomo, bad dudes. The one brother's on CNN. His show pulls ratings like 1/10 of a mediocre podcast. He's not doing well. CNN's, of course, not doing well. And they're bad guys. They're bad guys. They do bad things. One of them is getting caught. I'm sure once the governor is gone, if the governor's gone, I'm sure the CNN show host will also be gone, as his ratings are not healthy. Um, I already left New York. They killed New York, right? De Blasio and Cuomo killed New York. It is what it is. It's a bankrupt city. It's a bankrupt state. It's run very poorly. The one thing I'm happy about is that the attorney general in New York, she surprised us all because he handed her this investigation of himself in the assumption that she was going to do right by him, vindicate him, and she didn't. I don't know if it's because she wanted to do the right thing. I don't know if it's because she wanted her own political career, but she believed victims. She did a real investigation and she sided with the evidence. And the evidence is he's a really bad guy, right? I mean, I've said it before. He's a bad guy. He does bad things. He's done really bad things to women. He thinks it's okay to kiss women, grab women, touch women, all without consent. These are things that we find very reprehensible, right? These are the Harvey Weinstein behaviors. These are the Trumpian behaviors, right? And he got away with it because he had the media on his side for a period of time. But potentially that's over. I understand that President Biden has called for Governor Cuomo to resign. Governor Cuomo, of course, will not. He's very used to being, well, he's used to criticism. Let's say that, right? I don't think he's going to be too interested in resigning. I'd be very surprised if he does resign. There is some push for impeachment, but I think folks are a little worried from his political party about what that looks like for them, right? I mean, the state's not doing well financially. And if that comes out during an election, what does that mean on the world stage? What does that mean in the public view, right? So there's this tension between, do we do the right thing and impeach this really bad guy who's now been found guilty, in an investigation, not in a hearing or a trial or anything like that, or do we let things play out, let things cool down, and then like quietly get him out of there and get someone maybe a little more on the up and up in at a later date, right? That is the tension that I see playing out right now. I hope for the sake of the women who were targeted that he is pushed out now. I hope for the sake of New York that he is pushed out now. For the sake of women everywhere that he's pushed out now. You can't have these exceptions to the rule. You can't. You can't let some Caucasian guy run around sexually harassing women and just say, but politically expedient, we're gonna have to let him get away with it. Because what does that do to women everywhere? Women everywhere say, oh, you can't get justice. If you take the risk of coming forward, it doesn't do you any good. They're just going to sell you out, right? I hope that's not the case here. I hope that they do the right thing here. So comment down below. You can tell me how wrong I am. You can tell me how great Cuomo is if you want. We can have a discussion about that. Bring your data. Like and subscribe. It does help me to help more people just like you. Thanks, everybody.